What's going on, everybody? Charge it up here with the Model X on the highway. Currently have a destination set in the navigation. We're gonna go ahead and go into navigate on autopilot, and now we're gonna let autopilot just do its thing as we head home. Gonna get to make the lane change here. Let's go into the HOV lane. Electric vehicles are allowed in the HOV lane, even though there's only one person in the car. At least here in Toronto, Ontario, they are. So here comes autopilot letting me know there's an upcoming lane change. I'm curious to see what it's going to do here. Because legally, you shouldn't be able to or allowed to pass the two solid white lines. Not supposed to be allowed to pass it. If you do, you would get a ticket. So I'm curious to see when it's actually going to make that decision to change over and get over to that far light. Oh, okay, so now it just decided to not make the lane change. We'll see what happens up ahead here. It does, however, allow you to make the lane change coming up soon here. Let's see what it does. So as you can see right over here, it allows you to actually make that lane change. Oh, look at that. Autopilot asking or telling me that it's going to make that lane change. Will it make the lane change? Yes, it will. It'll sneak in behind this car, give the car behind enough room to. Here comes another lane change, because now we're going to have to make our way all the way over to the right. Ooh, it's busy. And we're going to run into some very annoying traffic. As you can see, autopilot wants to make the lane change to the right. We'll see when it makes the actual lane change here, if anybody allows us to get in. Let's see what it does here. There's space on my right. Ooh, that was aggressive. There was a slight bit of space, and he freaking took it. Awesome. Good job, Model X. And mind you, if you're driving like a douche, you would actually take that lane all the way till the end and then cut in at the very last second, which is what a lot of people do, unfortunately, which causes this massive pileup. But as you saw, autopilot came all the way over here, and it's in the lane that it needs to be in for when we need to make the transition to the next highway. So let's see what it does here. So it is going to be slow, unfortunately, because there's traffic. So it needs to signal here. There it is. There's the signal, and then the lane change by autopilot to go into this lane. Once again, we're going to slow down, but as you can see, we're making a loop and then going onto the highway again. I was actually hoping to show you guys what it does on this really tight turn off ramp, on ramp. I guess we'll have to try that another day. All right, coming up now to change lanes. Nicely done. Look at this, already changing lanes. Nicely done by autopilot. Making the lane change one more time. All right, nicely done. Is it gonna make one more lane change? It is. It is gonna make one more lane change. Go ahead, there you go. Nice. Nicely done by autopilot. And here comes another lane change. You know what? That was done better than I see a lot of humans freaking doing it. Nicely done. Coming up to some congestion here. It's always congested here at Kennedy. It's ridiculous. Horrible engineering, where we decided to put an off-ramp from the Express here and the on-ramp from Morden and an off-ramp. It's just terrible. It's always congested here no matter what time you come. But autopilot slowed down, obviously, and we'll continue on. We'll see how it does here. I just want to remind people that at this point I am literally not doing anything. The accelerator pedal is controlled by the car. Lane changers are controlled by the car, so everything's being controlled by the car. The only thing I'm doing is actually giving the approval once I touch the steering wheel for the car to do whatever it wants to do. Now I personally would have probably changed to this lane, gone down to the end, and then just before the Express changeover here, because obviously you can get into the Express from this far left lane, I would have then popped back into this lane to continue on to get away from this area as well. Autopilot had decided to stay in this lane, and it's now telling me that there's an upcoming lane change to that side. I'm going to actually just ignore that or cancel that one. So that way, when you cancel something, obviously it just stays in the same lane and continues going forward. So here comes a break in the lane. Needs to stay to the right. And it does so, signals 3 times, and it stays on the right side. Now with a little bit more space ahead, the car is starting to speed up now. We do have it set to the maximum of 120. I'm actually going to cancel that. So I wanted to make the lane change over to the right. However, once again, another off ramp from the express and an off ramp from the collectors, and it becomes congested as well. Keep it on this lane. I personally, once again, I would have actually moved over to the far left lane, and then down the road, maybe 2 kilometers from here, then I would have came back into this lane and the far right one. So here it comes telling me again it wants to make the lane change. So I can go ahead and do so now, because the off ramp is coming up at least. But again, I probably would have went around the slower traffic if I was driving on my own. Asking me to put pressure on the steering wheel, so I did. So here's our off ramp. Here it comes. It knows where it needs to go. So here it comes the off ramp. It should signal 3 times and then move into the appropriate side for the off ramp. Here it goes. Nicely done, and then immediately starts slowing down. Now don't get me wrong, it knows which way it needs to go. However, here in Canada right now, it will not make a left or right hand turn. However, I'm going to see what it does here. Let's see. I'm going to keep an eye on it, but let's see what it does here. So there it was. It wanted to make that left hand turn. It was gonna make that left hand turn, and then the car was like, hold on a second, I'm not allowed to do that here yet. And then it decided to go crazy and then wanted me to take control. Alright, well, that was a good little experiment. That was fun, especially on the left hand turn. It's always fun to see if it'll do it or not. Regardless, thanks for watching, guys. That's another Navigate on Autopilot episode with the Model X on the highway. Until the next one, guys.